Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, we're going to do another episode of Bytes and Nibbles with Breck today. I'm going to do a little variation on something I've prepared a bunch of times in my own personal life. I am a seafood lover, and I love salmon more than just about any kind of fish. Now, I prepare salmon on the grill all the time, but I've been in restaurants sometimes where I've had what they call cedar plank salmon, which means you just cook your salmon on a piece of cedar in the grill. Like I said, I've had really good results with that, and I wanted to figure out how to do it because I'd seen the cedar planks in the grocery store, and I wanted to try it. And I figured, you know what, today's a good day, let's go do that. So I went over to H-E-B, picked up a couple of cedar planks, and I am going to prepare my my cedar plank salmon tonight. So let's get going on this. So these are the ingredients for our cedar plank salmon. Needless to say, a piece of cedar plank. This one's embossed with H-E-B's name, so you know, whatever. Hopefully that'll make it taste at least as good as it should be. Some fresh garlic, which I have left over from a recipe I did last week. Some fresh rosemary. Obviously a piece of salmon, which I got from Costco a couple months ago. Has been in deep freeze and still is in the process of thawing down. Some lemon and some olive oil. Now, since the salmon still needs a little time to thaw, I'm going to prepare the cedar plank ahead of time because there's a little bit of work you got to do to get that ready. You don't just throw it on the grill because the heat will cause the cedar plank to scorch, and then you won't be able to use it. Now, the first thing they recommend you do is to prevent the cedar plank from actually burning when it gets put on the grill. They recommend that you actually submerge it in water for at least an hour. So I'm going to do that, and they say you can use like a wine bottle or a beer bottle or something to keep it underwater. Well, I got a lot of beer bottles here, so we're going to use a beer bottle. Now, the first thing they recommend you do is that you submerge your cedar plank underwater for about an hour. The point is, by soaking it in water, you basically allow the cedar plank to absorb some of the moisture, and then it doesn't burn on the grill as quickly. We want it to kind of burn a little bit because that's going to bring the flavor out of the meat. But if you do put the cedar plank in there dry, it'll just catch on fire, and then it's no good to anyone. So they recommend submerging it in a plate in water for about an hour, and they say you can use a beer bottle or a wine bottle. You know, I got a lot of beer bottles around here, so we're going to use a beer bottle just to keep that submerged. Now, I discovered kind of the hard way that the cedar plank is a little bit more buoyant than the weight of an empty bottle. So I actually had to fill the bottle up with water just to give it enough weight to submerge the plank. But that's okay. You could also use just a fresh beer right out of the fridge. But hey, wouldn't you want to drink it? So we'll come back to this in about an hour. By then, our fish should be nice and thawed and we should be ready to go. Now, they say there's nothing wrong with going more than an hour when soaking the cedar plank, but you just want to do it for at least an hour. Now, while that soaks, I'm going to actually make up my marinade. My marinade is actually really simple. It's lemon juice, olive oil, some rosemary, and some garlic. And basically, I just chop it up and mix it up into a mixture. It's a 50-50 mixture of the lemon and olive oil, and then just a few sprigs of the rosemary and a few garlic cloves. And it comes out just really good. So I like a lot of garlic on my fish, and also rosemary. I just think it's really good. So I've peeled about looks like 7 big giant garlic nuts, and I'm going to peel off the leaves off the rosemary, and I'm going to put them in the food processor and just grind them up. I know some people use a garlic press. I have a garlic press. It's just, I actually like the way the food processor does it. It chops it up more, and it isn't quite as much of a mess to clean up. So I'm going to throw that in. We're going to get that all ground up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Garlic, just the way you want it ground up. And next thing I kind of want to do is just peel the leaves off of the rosemary, because we don't want the stem in there, we just want the leaves. And I found that the easiest way to do it is just grab it on the tip. You know, the leaves kind of come up this way, and so you just grab it on the tip and just pull right back down the stalk in the opposite way the leaves are coming off, and they come right off in your hand. Really nice. Do the same here. I got this nice big stalk here, so I'm going to do the same thing. And it just comes off really easy, right? All the leaves are off. Missed a couple there, but... And now we got some good rosemary leaves. I'm going to throw that into the food processor too, and we'll just all grind that all together. And there's nothing that smells better than fresh rosemary. Except maybe fresh chopped garlic. Now what I've done is I've mixed up a half a cup each of olive oil and lemon juice, and I'm just going to mix that in with the garlic and the rosemary. Now you can use all sorts of different kinds of juices. I'm using lemon juice, but you can use combinations of lemon and lime juice. I've even been known to mix it up with a little balsamic vinegar, but I'm just going to stick with the original concoction today, and that's a 50-50 mix of lemon juice and olive oil. And I'm just going to pour the mixture right into the food processor. I know I probably should throw that in a blender or something like that, but I've done this a bunch of times. It works really well. I'm going to put the cap on it now for this time, and we're going to turn it on and we're going to mix it up. Now the beauty of doing it this way is the rosemary itself didn't get fully chopped up in the food processor before, but now that there's the liquid in there, that's going to kind of pull everything together, and it's just going to really pulverize the rosemary and turn it all into just kind of a mixture that will become the marinade for our salmon. And that's what our final mixture looks like. Now I'm just going to pour this into a shallow bowl here, because we're going to just marinate our meat in here. And so I've just got this nice little Pyrex bowl here, and I'm just going to pour all the mixture in there, and then we're going to soak the salmon in there, and we're going to let it just sit in the fridge for a little while we continue soaking our cedar plank. And I got my salmon fillet, and I'm just going to slide that right into the mixture. And then we're just going to slosh it around a little bit just to get all the sides covered. We're going to keep the skin up because ultimately the skin's going to come off at some point anyway. So I'm not so concerned about coating all the skin, but I just want to kind of get everything, get some of the marinade everywhere. So I got a good solid coating on that. We're going to put a cover on that and throw that in the fridge for a little while, and we'll come back to this. Alright, it's been a little bit more than an hour. Actually, I was just looking to try and figure out what I was going to do to kill time, and all of a sudden my mom called and she wanted to do her weekly check-in. So that was a perfect thing to kill the time. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes now. I'm going to do the next step, which is to prepare the cedar plank in the grill. So what we want to do now that we've dampened up our cedar plank is we want to start heating it up on the grill. We're going to preheat it to the point where the wood begins to turn a little bit color, begins to smoke a little bit, and actually should be making a little crackling sound. So I'm going to put it on a low heat, and we're going to fire it up. Make sure we got all the grills going here. Yep, they're all going. I'm going to put them on about a medium heat, and I'm going to close the lid on this for about 10 minutes. We'll come back and check up on this. So a little smoke coming out of the smokestack, so that must mean we're getting ready here. Let's open this up, take a look. Like I said, they said you wanted it to be a little bit scorched and a little bit smoky, and so it seems to be both of those. Oh yeah, that's definitely getting ready there. So I think the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put our meat on here. So let's go get that out of the refrigerator. Alright, that's starting to look good. I've actually flipped it over so the skin is on the bottom because that's how we want it on the cedar plank. So I am just going to transfer this over here onto the cedar plank, and we're going to lower the temperature a little bit on the grill. Don't want to overcook it. You can always cook it a little longer if you need to, but if you cook it too long, it gets a little too much. So I'm going to put this in, we're going to lower the lid, and we're gonna let it cook for about 20 minutes and then we'll come back and look at it. In addition to the salmon, we are gonna make a little fresh steamed asparagus, and we're gonna do that in the Instant Pot. So this is actually the thing I probably use the Instant Pot more for than anything else, is steaming vegetables, and it does it really good. There's a little handy dandy cooking table that they sent with the Instant Pot that tells you how to kind of prepare all your vegetables. And with asparagus, you want to go 1 to 2 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to press the steam button. It's set for 6 minutes currently because that was whatever it was I cooked last. That was what it was. So we're going to go down to 2 minutes. It's already on high pressure. I'm going to disable the keep warm button, and we are going to let that start cooking. I can smell the cedar cooking a little bit. It smells good out here. Oh yeah, we're getting there. Another 10 minutes, that should be ready to go. Alright, the Instant Pot is completed, so I am going to vent that safely. And I'm going to go out and check on my salmon, because I think that's about ready too. Alright, that looks good and it smells fantastic. Alright, this looks really good. I know what I'm going to get out of the asparagus. I want to try this salmon here and see how this turned out. Nice and flaky, I like that. Very good, very good. Yeah. It tastes basically what I'm used to getting with salmon, but cooking it on the cedar plank, it just makes it really easy to get it in and out of the oven too, or get it out of the grill too. So I haven't gotten to the point yet where I've tasted any variation that kind of could be justified by cooking it on the cedar. But like I said, it smelled fantastic when it was cooking, and I could smell the cedar in the grill. So very good, very good. Yeah, so definitely recommend that. I'll put the recipe down below in the description below. And that is all that I think I have for today. So thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Bon appetit!